the drop kick, Marty Jannetty. No, I hit you with that drop kick, Marty Jannetty.
Welcome into the latest edition of Hottag Wrestle Corner. On one
We're
half.
live, buddy.
We're live, buddy. Yeah, that part kind of cut off a little bit then, but it's all right. It's all
We
to
will
the
always
goodie
say
though.
that part, though. We know where it's at.
I'm one half of your host. I'm Rob.
I'm Clint.
Doing a double episode tonight and trying to keep it tight as I drop.
Shout up, down, down.
As I
We'll probably copyrighted that.
I didn't realize.
I don't think he did. I'm just saying.
As I dropped the mouse here. Anyway, start off with the news that we're doing double weeks worth of shows because we missed last week due to my car situation. Can I start off with the news first since my phone's dying?
Yes, you can.
Alrighty, so let's get into it. You loud ass phone. Actually, I'll kill some of that noise. All right. So, first news story I want to get to is about Trinity Fatu, formerly Naomi in WWE. She feels that her WWE release may have been a blessing in disguise. In an interview with NBC Chicago, Trinity spoke about her debut in Impact Wrestling and says her release was a blessing in disguise. Quote, being back in wrestling, being back with my pack in a place where I feel so welcome and just for the opportunity and receiving all of the love was very, very overwhelming, and I felt it in my heart, and I really did. I couldn't even hide the emotion. On her hiatus, she says, been wrestling for 14 years now. Then one day everything just changed. I felt like my whole world was turned upside down and things were shuffled around. It took a little time to just process everything and really sort out what I want to do and where I want to be. Quote, I feel like my release was a blessing in disguise. I feel like it allowed me to grow and become better in every way, in every aspect, show me how strong I really am. And now I got this new journey ahead of me with these new goals, and I'm excited for the next step, really. Also says that the rumors about her being costing too much on some diva shit, I guess you would say, cost her from signing with Stardom. She said that's untrue. The talks were never really
I don't know who the hell
gone that far,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, to even have that be an aspect of the story. The Elite reportedly have not signed their new deals with AEW yet. So with that story, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that negotiations with them are still ongoing. Neither the Bucks nor Omega have signed a new deal this time. There's been some confusion at this point, as Conan recently stated on his podcast that Omega agreed on a new deal. This is because Omega agreed to work Triple Mania. Unless new deals are agreed upon, Omega's contract will expire late this year around November, while the Bucks will expire at the end of the year. Barry Bloom is handling the negotiations for all three. It is also noted that Hangman Page's deal is also expected to expire by the end of the year. I expect all to be renewed.
I heard the issue is that
And then
Tony Khan's starting to push more and more against them doing other shows. But
want to keep it more exclusive. I guess I can see that.
Yeah. Which is a big pet peeve for Kenny Omega, because you know Kenny Omega like to wrestle every goddamn where.
Barry Bloom is like the king of wrestling agents.
He's the Drew Rosenhaus.
He does everybody. Mankind. He does do everybody. Mankind was the first though.
He's
Started with
the
Mankind.
Drew Rosenhaus of wrestling agents.
Upcoming pre-sale registrations for All In have had great numbers so far. As the numbers were cut off of yesterday's pre-sale registration, there was over 60,000 tickets sold in a pre-sale. That place holds like 93. Can't wait for that show. It's going to be awesome. I swear, and I really got the feel from watching some of Backlash and at least that Go Home. Like, that's one thing I say WWE does better than anybody else, hands down. I love when they go international. Because the crowds actually
Except
give
Saudi
it.
Arabia, even though they still go.
Yeah, that's more blood money, but I love the crowds international because they don't get to see it all the time, so they show that love like that. Like, you could feel Puerto Rico. Like, they was on everything.
After that Backlash too, man.
They was on everything. Oh, we're saving that one. Oh no, now it's starting to run. Yeah, it's getting there. I'm almost done with my stories, though. Kota Ibushi reportedly is now looking to sign a full-time contract. Probably looking not to sign with WWE either, even though he was in the Cruiserweight Classic not too long ago. couple years back, but he's probably, if he is coming over, he'll be tagging with his boy up at AEW with Kenny Omega. Mercedes Bonet and Maya Iwatani had an altercation at a Stardom press conference. I bet you know a little bit more about that. I'm sure you've seen that match.
Yeah, that's a great match. Sasha was just a troll like that whole match. I think she came out like in a nice ass car. She was mocking her throughout the course of the match. Didn't go on to lose in like 12 minutes. But anyway.
I mean, better than 2 minutes. It wasn't a squash in that way.
Yeah, no, it was a good match though. And then after the match, she showed her respect, basically. So like, but she also then let it be known that like, oh, she's not done with her yet though. So.
All right, so Ted DiBiase got himself in a lot of trouble, and I just found this story funny because his daddy was a $1 million man. Well, he tried to become $1 million man by stealing the money. Reported yesterday, WWE alumnus are charged with 1 count of conspiracy to try to commit wire fraud, to commit theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, and 6 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, and 4 counts of money laundering. It said that I'm trying to get the exact number.
This might be the whole Mississippi thing, yeah, I'm assuming. The same thing with Brett Favre and all these guys.
He tried to make a payment of getting... He deposited $1 million to a bank account basically on some fraudulent shit. And robbing Peter to pay Paul type of deal. Basically what that comes back down to. I got 2 tangled stories, but I got to save them because my phone's going to die and I need my phone. So you can continue, sir.
Oh, we're saving them for next week or?
Yeah, I'll save them for next week.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm going to power down my phone because I need these last 12%.
All right, that's cool. That means we laugh at you next week, Tammy said. All right, first news story. Possible host city.
I might be able to pull it, but I'm going to let you go ahead and I'll try to grab it.
Possible host city for WrestleMania 41 revealed. It may be heading to Minnesota. It's a finalist to host WrestleMania 41 in 2025. No word on any other city that's in the running. U.S. Bank Stadium hosts 73,000. It's also a dome. Hope the dome don't fall in before Mania. After that, next news story, Mercedes Moné is on a per appearance deal with New Japan and Stardom. Of course, she will be competing at New Japan's Pro Resurgence event. She's committed to Resurgence, but they don't know how many dates she's scheduled for. She also was in Chicago for Trinity's debut on Impact. She tried like hard as hell to like try to hide herself, but didn't work. Fans easily spotted her. Let's see. Let's go to something funny. One funny story. Let's go to Eva Marie. She said she'll be interested in teaming up with Bray Wyatt and feuding with Alexa Bliss. She still seems like she's still trying to...
She should be interested in learning how to wrestle.
Yeah. All that muscle. She's still fine as hell, though. She can't wrestle, but she's still fine as hell, though. She said she had such a good relationship with WWE. She talked to them a couple weeks ago. She said there's always a conversation. She's blessed. She's been given a platform for him. She said she have unfinished business. They asked her about possible storyline. She said, I can come back with dark hair. I can have a dark hair teaming with Bray Wyatt. I think that would be dope.
I found it, by the way.
She said I did have a little issue in her last comeback with Alexa Bliss. So she said I can come back and we can run that for a little while. I'm like, what issue did you have with Alexa Bliss? I'm trying to remember. Was that during your little incidents with Piper Niven before she became Doudrop? Or was she Doudrop when she was lined up with you? I don't know. Chavo Guerrero basically called out Rey Mysterio, but then said he was just playing the heel on Twitter. Of course, you know Rey Mysterio, he always used name, the images, the mannerism of Eddie Guerrero. So
he tried to like bang on him or something about it?
So basically, hold on, I'm about to get into it.
See what had happened
So,
was.
At WrestleMania 39, of course, when he defeated his son Dominic, now Ray is pushing the Latino World Order with Santo Escobar, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wild, and Selena Vega.
Sorry, that played around a little early.
And,
I was prepping for later. Go ahead.
He's had an issue that Ray constantly bring up his uncle. He called him out during a live stream when he headlined what's name against Damian Priest. He said he was not impressed with Ray's Eddie entrance at WrestleMania 39, which featured Snoop Dogg in one of his cars. He said that Chavo is tired of people prostituting the Guerrero family name. He said we love Eddie and we're not going out with his gimmick. It was the Los Guerreros gimmick. We came out here with the Los Guerreros. We lie, cheat, we steal, and everybody like, oh yeah, keeping Eddie's memory alive. I say no, dude. I'm tired of people, and it's not a bitter thing. It's the truth. We worked hard for that last name. This family worked really, really hard to get that name where it was, and we're tired of people prostituting for it. In a sense, using it for their benefit. So Rey Mysterio, I'm sorry that no one knows who Rey Mysterio Sr. is.
Damn.
Rey Mysterio Jr.
Damn, you shit on it. And then here's the best part. Like, that's true. But, like, you know, like, he got the name from his uncle. It wasn't from his dad. Yeah, it wasn't a Rey Mysterio, like, father.
He said, so thank you for keeping the Eddie name alive. Thank you for keeping the Guerrero name alive, but we don't need you. We're good. You know what I'm saying? Then during Raw,
He tried to backtrack on it, though.
he during tonight's Raw, he took the Twitter during the Raw and then called on Ray to donate money to charity or Eddie's daughter to prove he's not prostituting the Guerrero name. He said if Mysterio is mentioned in the Guerrero's name only a tribute, not to line up his own possible cash and donate some of that money to a charity, or how about Eddie's daughters? That will show myself and the fan that he's not prostituting the family name. Then 57 minutes later, he said this Planet Hill, he tweeted, he said, this is how Hill should tweet. Hook, line, and sinker, I still got it.
I feel like he wasn't capping. I feel like the last sentence was capped because somebody got in his ear like, bruh, how you sound, bruh?
Also, more too, he claimed that he do not explain his virtual Sonic comments and why he used very serious, but he does have serious beef with Vicky Guerrero, though. You know?
He do? Why?
Yeah, he got very serious issues with Vicky Guerrero. So, her and her, it goes into a response of Vicky and her husband have issued a statement to deny recent
Wait. She remarried?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Deny recent allegations of sexual assault and abandonment made by Vicky's youngest daughter. So,
You talking about Shaw? The one that wrestles?
Sherilyn, I think her name, the middle daughter. She's the middle daughter.
Okay. I think Shaw's the oldest.
She's accused them of sexually assaulting her while the family was on a cruise in 2020. Then she accused Vicky of cutting her off of all contact after she told her about the assault. And then she said that another person was assaulted by Benson. She put everything in a 3 to 10 minute video. Vicky responded, accused her of being drunk on the cruise, saying that she will see her in court and that they're no longer related. She said there's two sides to a story. Over 15 years, my relationship with Charlene have been hostile, and I tried to deal with a narcissist person. Not only but my close friends over 10 years and family have cut ties with her because of her manic behavior. I tried therapy, but she's always said no, and that I'm sick, not her. Please tell your side of your character being drunk on a cruise and having guys in your room being crying because you think they raped you and demanded us to go to pharmacies in the Bahamas for Plan Bs. You want to play dirty and sling Chris and I through the mud. I have my own pile of mud from you in caps. Are you enjoying the 2 cars that Chris bought you, the 3 apartments that you bailed out on, and the 2 surgeries that we paid for? Your life will catch up, and I feel bad for you. Yeah, she's going. She said not only have you not only spoken to Chris about the situation, but how you can go on social media and tell all, but that's how you communicate. Another example, you manipulating and harassing others. I'm so done with you, tired of your years and years of manipulation, lies, and disrespect. I kept quiet for years because you never seek therapy to learn on how to have an adult conversation with me. It always been your way or no way at all. Okay, though, I'll see you in court, but you and I are no longer related. For the fans who feel entitled to comment, fuck you. You hear one side of the story and you feel entitled to comment about something you don't know nothing about.
She went in. She said, for the fans that felt entitled to comment, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck
Not
you.
laughing at the story, but
Fuck
the fact
you.
that it's just that comment.
Fuck you.
And this
Hilarious.
one, yeah, and Chavo said he supports his cousin and said that I fully support my cousin, Eddie's daughter, and I've been doing so privately the last couple of years. She's a strong woman for coming forward. He said, I love you, Prima, with a heart emoji. So, yeah. Woo.
Wow.
Yeah. That's deep. All right. Another news story. WWE apparently got a lawsuit coming. By the way, that guy that sued at WrestleMania 38, that lawsuit been dismissed by a judge. So sorry, buddy, you didn't win nothing in that one. WWE has been sued by former writer Brittany Abrams. Filed a suit against Vince McMahon, allowed in that they retaliated against her for speaking out against offensively racist scripts for stars like Bianca Belair and Apollo Crews. The one lawsuit made a pitch that month that at this time Mansoor would be keeping the secret that he was behind 9/11.
Wait, hold on. Wait. What happened?
Ryan Callahan made a pitch that Mansoor would be keeping a secret that he was behind 9/11.
Who pitched that?
Ryan Callahan, he's a writer.
Wait, he still works
He's
there?
a writer. I don't know if he still works. No, he's been released in 2019 after he got into a disagreement with Dave.
Probably
Couture.
for somebody should have punched him
But
for
Dave
suggesting
Couture-
that shit.
Yeah, they said that him and Mansoor had a good relationship, and at the time was shocked and baffled that was even said. Next, he also made a pitch. They also
I have to laugh at that. That's audaciously bad. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, come on. All right, go ahead.
Fightful also note that the pitch was made to
I can't help but laugh.
Mustafa
at that. That's
Ali
hilarious,
by
man.
Vince McMahon in late 21 that Ali have never done because that one bit he's talking about was just as bad as the Mansoor pitch. So, but are they gonna have Ali do it worse than that? They also talk about Apollo Crews' Nigerian accent that he was originally pitched by an active wrestler. They also pitched the storyline that Reggie would be captive in cages and being hunted, but he will hunt Reggie for fun against Shane Hastings. I guess he's a wrestler, but since Shane is from Australia, they'll make him a crocodile hunter instead of.
Wait,
a
I know.
crocodile. He
You
hunts
know who
people.
that is?
He hunts people.
Do you know who Shane Hastings is? What was the one dude from Retribution? Not Dijak, not Mace,
Slapjack.
Slapjack. That's who that is.
Oh my God! I
The
didn't
guy
know
that was
real
half
name.
the
Jason mask on.
the dude that was half a TM 618 or
Yeah.
whatever they was called.
I didn't know that was him.
Yes.
They said
So they said the Australian guy. I'm like, it has to be that guy.
They said he would capture Reggie and constantly beat him up, but Reggie will always escape. She said she objected to point out that you have a white man hunting an African American man for sport. That would be considered racist. And Callahan laughed sarcastically and said, "Oh, what? Is that a bad thing?" And they said they reached out to Hasty to speak about it. He said he couldn't speak to the elevator pitch event, but he said the version he heard wasn't about race. Instead, it was about the 24/7 team with Reggie escaping most of the tragedy of acrobats. WWE said that they have no plans on commenting on the lawsuit. And no further what's the name. That shit, deep. All right, now, last two of Kurt Angle. Let's get the serious one out the way first before we get to the funny one, because I know you're going to enjoy this funny one. Kurt Angle planning to have neck fusion surgery next year, because he just had recovery from back surgery. That's him going to get 2 back-to-back surgeries. He said that he worked out much sooner than his doctor told him after the back surgery. He said he hoped his doctor's not listening. 2, he's supposed to take 6 weeks off, but as soon as he got out of the hospital, he started working out again. Yeah. He said that his back was stiff. He couldn't carry no more than 5 pounds. He said that he was lifting, he was doing leg presses sitting down. He did bench press sitting down. He did military press sitting down. Everything he did sitting down, so he took care of his back. He said he's still dealing with lower back pain, but not as bad as it was from the operation. He said he will have neck fusion surgery in 2024. He said, crazy thing is, I haven't been able to play. He said I've been able to play with his kids because of his knee replacement, his back surgery. It was all bothering him. He said his neck is messed up. He's going to have a fusion. Hopefully that helps with his body. He said once his back heals, he's going to start playing with his kids, throwing them around the pool, carrying them on his back and doing stuff like that. He said he want to be a real father to his kids. That fucking sucks. Like you so injured and what's now, you feel like you can't do nothing with your kids, man. Like, yeah, he had another story. He said RVD was better to work with when he was high. So he was on the whole effing show and he called about RVD unorthodox ways of preparing for matches. He said he was better to work when he was high. I honestly don't know if I ever met Rob or seen Rob when he wasn't high. He had to put the matches together. Even if he was high, he had to go get higher. So he would smoke and then come back. Yes, this is Rob Van Dam. So you just said you just smoke novice glass of weed. He said I ain't gonna admit that he could never smoke weed then wrestle a match. He said he would have loved to give it a try. He said I gotta tell you, I smoked before, okay? I'm not going to lie, but there's no fucking way I could work if I smoked. There's just no way.
But wait, hold on. You gotta remember he a square. I know he had a no.
No, he talking about.
No, he's a square in real life.
Oh yeah, I know. You know about his DUI.
Like, yeah, I mean, like honestly, wrestling opened him up, and we know the DUIs and the drug arrests and all of that.
Angle.
But Kurt Angle's still a square. Like he don't like trees, and he don't do that shit. He ain't gonna go kick it with like Godfather at some like alumni signing event somewhere, smoking blunts in the back. No, that's not him.
With Snoop Dogg on like Teddy Long.
That's not him.
For that.
Teddy
Long was smoking weed with Snoop Dogg.
That's crazy. Now, if he was on like hot boxing with Mike Tyson or something, I could see him probably tapping something just for effect of the show, and he'll start acting real geeked, I bet too. But no, that's not what he do in his personal life. Like, nah, hell no.
He said that.
Do the girl dad. He's gonna go home and kill with his kids and his hot wife.
He said, I'm not gonna lie. There's no fucking way I can work if I smoke. There's just no way. I don't know how they would do it. I would have loved to have been able to do it.
That comment alone tells me that. That tells me he doesn't smoke on the regular because it fuck him up that bad he couldn't wrestle.
He said he will never smoke and try. He said he will never smoke weed and wrestle a match. The fact that he said, oh yeah, I just like the fact how he just said, well, RVD, look, we'll pitch a match out. He'll already be smoking weed, so he got to go get higher. Then come out, we'll wrestle a 5-star match. But now my question is this: when he was smoking weed back in Impact, was this during the time of Kurt Angle? Because Kurt Angle was doing moonsaults like it wasn't nothing. He was feeling himself. He was doing moonsaults off cage. I remember one moonsault, he tried to do a moonsault off a cage. Like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, so. And that is, that's the end of my stories.
So, I got a funny one for you going off of what you just said right there, right?
That's the end of my stories.
All right, so I'm going to get to the Tamlin Sitch and we can start the show real quick. So, did you know who Teddy Hart is?
Yeah.
All right, so did you know why he got fired from TNA?
Why?
All right, so it's kind of like what you were just talking about, him busting out moonsaults all the time. So he had a match, right? It was like, I can't remember if it was like a mixed tag, like 4-on-4 or whatever, or if it was like a battle royal or whatever. But whatever happened, right? The match, he somehow chalked the match for his team being geek. And then as the match was over, he proceeded to keep climbing to the top rope and is doing moonsaults. But nobody in the ring knew he was doing it, so they just had to keep getting up and catching him. I mean, like, he did like 15 in a row. Yeah. An obscene amount. Like, yeah. And they were pissed, like, bro, like, come on, stop, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just kept doing that shit, so they fired him.
Hell no.
Yeah, that kind of sounds, it just, when you said it about Kurt Angle, that's what that reminded me of.
I mean, come on. If y'all who watch, though, his Impact, though, when he was Kurt Angle, bro, he was doing everything. He was doing high-risk spots. He was getting his Hardy Boys on. He was doing everything high-flying.
All right, I'm ready. So here goes our funny story. Another funny story. All right. So Missy Hyatt took to social media to reveal that Tamlin Sitch attempted to contact her while she was incarcerated on trial for the DUI manslaughter. As has been reported, Tamlin Sitch was in jail while she awaited trial on several counts in relation to a car accident that caused the death of a 75-year-old Julian Lasseter. Rest in peace, sir. Hyatt posted this on Twitter on Thursday with a screenshot of Sis trying to contact her. Quote, when you badmouth a former friend for 18 years, do you reach out to them in hopes of getting money on your books? You try to make amends. You try to make amends. You try to make amends when you're at your lowest. And I fell for this when she reached out to me twice in rehab and after, only to be mouthed on and shot on in interviews. I'm far from a saint and far from being Satan. I forgive, but I don't forget. She probably wanted the AEW Rampage spoilers anyway.
Damn, I got her.
It says Tammy Lynn Sitch's trial is set to start the week of September 18th, so expect plenty more Tammy Lynn Sitch stories between now and then.
Oh Lord.
So,
oh God.
I just thought that was pretty funny.
That was damn. She said, "Do you reach out to a friend when she travel?" The part that got me is, man, do you reach out to a friend, so cause they want you to put money on their book? Like, damn. You ain't got nobody. You ain't got no friends. Cause you had that every African American when you did that. When you had the OnlyFans, you basically crap on every African American person there was.
And maybe Dolph will help her. Said that was her best fuck. She ain't talking down on Dolph. Anyway, so you got the first Raw. Let's get into these shows.
Yeah, let's run through them. Okay, so this is the Raw, April 24th. I'm about to say April 14th. All right, first was this talking segment. Of course, Cody Rhodes. Again, same thing. He asked what we want to talk about. He showed some of the scars of the attack. Fan cuts out and cuts him off, and he talked about how Rhodes went to a fight without backup. He's basically trying to recruit Rhodes into Judgment Day. Rose basically said no. Then I love Finn's insults. Finn said I will knock the bleach off your head. Like, okay then. That leads to a main event match for tonight. Next we get the Bloodline. It'll be the Usos and Solo versus Joaquin Wild Cruz de Toro Santo Escobar. 1D with the win at 8 minutes and 34 seconds. Post-match, Uso said WrestleMania was one bad night. They're taking them titles back. Bianca Belair says she's ready for EO. Damage Control cuts her off so Bayley can laugh at her. Sky cuts them off and yells at Belair. Another match. Jay's on the phone talking about how big of a win they had when Sammy pops in. Sammy laughs at the idea of the match being dedicated to Roman Reigns. He now need to be dedicated to the Usos. What happens if the Usos lose after putting Reigns' name on the match? It won't be good. Jay don't deserve it. Next we get Trish explanation. She basically said Becky Lynch ain't here tonight because she's cracking under pressure of being the star. She knows because she told her that. And she said that she needs to say thank you, Trish. Next, we get the Street Profits versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. That's how long this match was. The tag match.
3 minutes.
Street Profits
3 minutes.
Street Profits win in 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
I was sure about 43 seconds.
Profits get the pose, which basically seemed like it was a farewell. Triple H comes out here to talk about how he gets the rest of all these people, defend the title. He said he get the rest of all these people. He's like, well, come on, when I get the rest at WrestleMania 22, where I defended the WWE title against John Cena, Raw Mania.
When he said it, I thought that shit too. I'm thinking like,
Raw Mania.
He didn't
Raw
wrestle
Mania.
him in 22.
Right, that's Raw Mania, brother.
Like, that's the wrong one. I think it was 25 or 20. I think it was 25.
I don't know.
23 with Shawn Michaels. Maybe 22, but I thought 22 was him and Booker T.
Yeah, let me fact check it real quick.
Yeah, I don't think it was 22 though. I don't. You're right. I know 23 was Shawn Michaels. I don't think it was 24 either though. 24 was the one with Flair and Michaels, and then they had Edge and Undertaker. But yeah, I don't think it was there either. So it had to be 25. No, it was him and Randy at 25. So maybe it was 22.
It was 22.
Yeah, we're wrong. Look at us. My bad, Nate. My bad, H. I mean,
No, he was wrong when he said he defended the title at WrestleMania 22. He lost that match. Cena tapped him out.
yeah, he did. I remember. I love that go home on that one too. Because as soon as he had won the match to get into the title match, Cena ran into the ring and had the spinner belt in his face.
Said that so he was wrong in the fact that he defended the title. You didn't.
But continue though, because I have issues with this.
All right. He talked about Roman Reigns, who talking about he defended the title against everybody. He basically talks about how Roman Reigns negotiated himself to a position where he don't have to defend the title as frequently, which is not great for WWE. People deserve more than that. He said that whatever show Reigns get drafted to, the title stays there, and they bring a new champion. Now, champions on May 27th, a new World Heavyweight Champion will be crowned. It's a new title.
In Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Which is a smaller belt with the WWE logo in the middle, which is nowhere near the size of Reigns' titles.
Is it? I didn't realize it was smaller. I like the design of it better. It's not as just generic. I will say, here's my problem. Why? Why not take a belt off of him? Why do you have a third world championship? He's gonna walk out with 2 every time, bro.
Yeah.
He's not gonna combine that into 1 belt.
Right. I don't know, but they try to say that Reigns
2 shows, 3 world championships, just because 2 is on 1 person.
Right. I hope what happened when Reigns finally lose that motherfucker, they take one of them belts off and then put on the other show and then make that other belt a secondary belt. Kind of in a way.
I think they should just get rid of one of the 2 he has at the moment they decide to do that.
Put them bitches together or something.
So basically, this is their version of the big gold belt. Is how I looked at it as, because it's just the world championship.
Basically.
And then, so what he has is the Universal Championship, which is the WWE Championship and the Universal together. So how about you drop that Universal shit and just call him the WWE Champion, like he's the champion of the company, and then your other guy is more of the secondary champion by calling him the World's Champion. And then there's a difference in delineation there, at least. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know Roman's the champion, overall champions, no matter what.
Yeah. Next, Jimmy is clearly ready for SmackDown while Jay is distracted. Next, we get Damage Control versus Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. We already know who won this match. Went 9 minutes. Belair for KOD on Dakota Kai. Next, we talk about Darius here. He's not having being disrespected because he had to show his defense time the triple threat match. Lashley interrupts, calling him lazy and scared. Bronson Reed comes up. Lashley gets beat down by Reed and then gives Theory the tsunami. Next, we get Booz, Elias, Alpha Academy, Maxine Dupree are worried about the draft. Ali comes in and says, chill. I don't know what's this whole game with him chilling, which lead to a match between him and Chad Gable. Ali wins this match in 1:48. Hometown guy gets a win.
Okay.
Next, we get our main event. Finn Balor versus Cody Rhodes. Great match between these two. Pedigree knocks Balor out. Then Cody hits the crossroads. He gets the win at the 12-minute mark. Went 12 minutes. Next, Seth Rollins is here. He said that he's happy to see the fans, but has out in that championship. He believes he can win it with no politics or anything. MVP and almost come out here. Basically threatened him for backlash. Rollins said, I'm going to bounce your head off the mat. Then I'm going to beat you in the match because that's what I do. Riddle's pitching ideas to Kevin Owens when Sami Zayn come in. Owens is pissed off. He don't know where the hell Sami Zayn was at. And he said he's happy when he's talking about, and he ain't happy when he heard he was talking to the Jay again. He said we got to beat the Usos on Friday. You need to focus on that. Owens lead. Riddle talk about how he and Randy were always supposed to split up but stay together, just like Owens and Zayn will. Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest. Ray wins this match by DQ at the 11-minute mark after Damian Priest basically smacks him in the face with a chair.
DQ.
Yeah. Then he gives Ray the South of Heaven, but Bad Bunny makes a save with the kendo stick. He said he's not going to be the host of Backlash no more because he's going to face him in a street fight. So, and that is the end of Raw.
Still you, brother.
Yeah, I know, because I got NXT. This NXT was spring breaking. First match was Tony D'Angelo and Stacks versus Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, boy.
In a trunk match.
Soon to be on SmackDown. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
A trunks match, basically. It's basically a casket match set with a car trunk. Because, again, they supposed to be mafioso guys. Yeah.
They bit that from AEW, by the way. Because there was a street fight with best friends against somebody, and it ended with them closing the dudes in the trunk. I forgot who they were facing then. This was like 2 years ago. Go ahead.
A double slam through the tables is enough for the win for D'Angelo and Stacks at the 12-minute mark.
Wait, so they put them through tables? I thought they put
them through tables and then locked them in a car trunk, basically.
Oh, all right.
Enough weapons here. And I also like the way too that it protects Pretty Deadly because they do get bought up in the draft. They don't go out on a loss, for pin. So your girl Tiffany Stratton says she's ready to win the NXT Women's title. Next we get Andre Chase versus Bond Breakker. Guess how long this match went?
4 minutes.
A clothesline, the recliner, he taps him out. 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
That's our number today. I should have just said 2 minutes and 18 seconds. I don't know what I was fucking thinking.
We might have one more chance to try to guess the title or guess the match.
All right.
Next, Dijak beats up Dragunov in the back. He crushes ribs with a garage door.
Good to see Dijak getting some work in.
Laura Valkyrie versus Cora Jade. Jade basically hits her in the throat. She grabs the kendo stick. Ref takes it away, allows Jade to get a cheap shot in. Jade finishes with the DDT at 8 minutes and 20 minutes. 8 minutes and 20 minutes. 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Next, Tony D'Angelo and Stacks are driving Pretty Deadly somewhere. So they still got him in the trunk. They're driving. What's the name? Grayson Waller versus Carmelo Hayes for the NXT title.
Let me guess, Carmelo Hayes retains.
After a super kick and a nothing but net at 11 minutes. Well, basically 12 minutes. Post-match, Hayes grabbed the mic and issues a rematch at Battleground to Bron Breakker. Breakker basically, he comes, when I say he runs down the ramp, spear, Trick Williams gets reclined for a bonus, so he basically just beat the fuck out of both of them. Then he spears Hayes through the part of the set. So I like that they make him feel like a la like Psycho, like Scott Steiner, just beating the holy shit out of people, people. And his gear too is all like black now, so it's like all dark now, so it's like
I need Steiner mad. Do you know?
He mentioned it before. He mentioned it when he was a face. He mentioned it.
Did you know that it was like the anniversary of that, like a week or two ago?
Yeah, I think I posted what's the name, and I tagged you in it. Oh yeah,
I was rolling.
Let me tag Robin. I gotta tag him in this one, man. Steiner math. Next, Roxanne Perez said she wanted to wrestle. She was a child. She wants the title back. She's doing it for every little girl. Next, we get a recap of everything with Brooke, Jensen, Kiana James, Fallon Haley, and Josh Briggs.
Why?
Because this match is next.
Oh my God. This shit's been going on for like 4 months. Oh my God, he can't get girls. Okay, move on.
Jensen. So Kiana James basically tried to get him to cheat. He don't want to do it because it's his brother. Briggs hits the Larry for the win at 11:41. After that, she basically walks out on him. So now he just... So she basically dumped his ass after they lost.
Because he wouldn't cheat.
After he lost. Yes. Dragon Lee wants the Heritage Cup. Scripps is ready to go after Exxon next week. Oba for May could throw things. A big guy. Andy Hartwell says she's ready to prove that her shit's not a fluke. Her win not a fluke. So Ruko got attacked by unidentified assailant
Well, I
in
guess
that parking lot, but she had a torn ACL though.
My guess is that she said that without knowing what was going to happen later in the week. But all right, I'll get to that later.
She has a torn ACL. So she's gonna be out for a while. A lot of torn ACLs, man.
It happens.
And next we get Obafemi versus Ora Mensa. Guess how long this match was?
I don't know because I don't know who the fuck you just said. Like who?
Pop-up powerbomb finishes Mensa at 3 minutes and 37 seconds.
All right.
Gigi Dolan pops him and demands a match against JC Jane. Drew Gulak said your boy Gabagoo said he's impressed with Wesley. He's ready to take that North American title from him next week.
I hate that he's just a jobber guy. I like the days of Gabagoo when he was with Brian Danielson, and he was or Daniel Bryan actually at the time, and he was like his right hand, and he kept trying to get him raised up. That was like his best moment in the company. That and like his 2-day 24/7 championship run. That sucks. He's a really good wrestler, bro. He's a really good wrestler, and they just no. I take that back. I take that back. I don't remember if he had the belt at the time, but there was one point in time when he was heel and he was like on 205 Live, and he was just wrecking all the cruiserweights. That was a good run for him too. Yeah. But it's sad because he's been there like 10 or 12 years. And
I mean, he got beat up by Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair on back-to-back weeks.
Man, they be shitting on my dude. Gabagoo.
You said the 24/7 title. It's the 24/7 I-95 North-South and Kentucky championship.
The realest one. Do you know he still wrestles, by the way?
Yeah, he's out with injury, though. R-Truth is.
No, not R-Truth. I'm talking about R-Truth. Enzo Amore. He's now known as the realest one. He's in MLW.
Oh, okay.
I saw him lose a match to a midget a couple weeks ago.
Okay, then.
And it was like a loser leaves town match, too. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? At least he's still wrestling. He's still wrestling.
Yeah, man, he's still out there.
He's going. Give him that. Tyler Bates said he will be in Wesley's corner next week. Next, we get our triple threat match: Tiffany Stratton versus Roseanne Perez versus Indy Hartwell. This match had a scary moment because Indy Hartwell had a bad spot where she really severely messed her knee up. She still get the win at the 15-minute mark. This whole match was rough. And I think it's because the fact when Indy Hartwell went down, Perez and Stratton kind of had to do it on the fly. But it's hard to do it on the fly, you know. When
it was a three-way?
Yeah, it was a triple threat, so they kind of had to do it on the fly, so it looked like...
They took up more to run the match.
Basically, yeah.
Coming in for her being out with her knee.
Yeah. But she got... Yeah, unfortunately. So, the match was... So, it looked kind of clunky and bad, but it wasn't bad because of the competitor, just bad because they had to, adjust on the fly. So, after that, Tony D'Angelo and Stacks basically... throw your boys Pretty Deadly into a river. So essentially, they basically killed them off. So that basically means they will be getting drafted to a show.
Did they lose the belts in this match?
Who?
They didn't lose the belts in this match, right?
They lost the truck match. Pretty Deadly did.
But they didn't lose the belts.
They ain't had the belts.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, they had a belt. Yeah. But they basically got thrown into the river. So they basically killed off Pretty Deadly in a way. So basically meaning they're done on NXT. They're getting called up somewhere. So. NXT. By the way, Perez took the pin in that match too, off the side forearm by Indy Hartwell.
Alrighty then, over to AEW Dynamite, and guess what, folks? We got Double Shivani this week. Double Shivani.
Yeah. Double Ski-a-Vones.
All right, so on this week's show, the show dated for 4/26. You said 4/24, right?
Yes.
Yep, 4/26. That is correct. 2023. We start off with international title match. Orange Cassidy taking on Bandito. Nice matchup. It's one of those things I love about AEW is that they give you matchups that you never really expect to see unless you're watching indies somewhere randomly. Of course, Orange Cassidy retained. Went for a quick mouse trap. That got 2 count, but instead added counter into an orange punch and a beach break to retain. At the end of the match, they shook hands, and he ended up putting his sunglasses on Bandito, which looked funny because Bandito wears a mask.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, Adam Cole's ready to call out Chris Jericho tonight. But once they left, Cassidy and Bandito came over and asked Renee Paquette if they want to interview him after the match. She said, explain the deal with Cole and Jericho from last week, and Cassidy was like, oh. And Bandito was like, oh. And then they just both left. Darby Allin and Jungle Boy agreed to bury the hatchet after last week. Said they don't have to like each other, but they do have to respect each other in order to take on Sammy Guevara and MJF. Next up, there's a sighting in the building. Slapnuts in the building. Dylan.
Jeff. Jare to double T. Jeff Jarrett. We love you, Jeff. Your gold shoveling buried ass.
He's not as bad as Hogan or but he's almost equal to Triple H.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Right, yeah.
All right, so anyway, he has a match with Dax Harwood right here, and surprisingly, guess who pulled out the victory?
Slap nuts.
Yep, I guess I teased it too much. Yeah, he pulled this one out. Of course, it's with some cheating shit.
Of course.
To pull it out. So, figure four is counted into a small package for two. Q Sanjay Dutt for the distraction.
Oh.
The chaseless Jarrett hit the stroke for the pin. And Dutt hands Jeff Jarrett the tag team title after the match. So you see where that's trying to lead to, I should say. Next up, the Owen Hart Cup is returning this year, but part of it will be in Canada with the finals in Calgary. Because it'll be held near around Forbidden Door. Some matches I think might be at Forbidden Door. I could be wrong about that, but it'll be around the same time because Forbidden Door is in Toronto this year.
Okay.
They're actually going to do a whole Canada thing up there. They're going to Winnipeg and actually going back to Winnipeg, I should say. Wardlow versus Ariel Levy was next. Non-title, Arn Anderson was with him. 4 powerbomb move, and Tiffany finishes off Levy fast. This match went so fast they didn't even bother racing and putting a time for it.
Dang.
I can tell you the guess, but there's no time, so I couldn't tell you.
Dang.
After the match, so
that sucked. That's how you know you got beat that quick. They can't even put a time up for it.
So, I got a funny Arn moment from next week too. Anyway, so Arn Anderson starts talking about how an NFL draft starts this week, and Wardlow's the #1 overall pick, and he sees no other type of talent in the back. Next out, Christian Cage comes out. Go! If you look into my eyes. Scars never heal. Anyway, so they come out.
Song, I don't care. I like that song.
He comes out with Luchasaurus, and him and Luchasaurus have a stare down, still trying to tease if that's what the next match is. We'll get back into that. We'll talk about that later. Next
I would love to watch that match.
Next up, Blackpool Combat Club. Oh, excuse me, sorry. MJF is cut off by Sammy Guevara, who doesn't like how people are calling him a gutless coward. He doesn't care what people think because they're friends now. He gives them matching vests, and he gives them a matching hug and a matching scarf, a Burberry scarf, and they share a hug. Next up, Blackpool Combat Club jumps to RJ City interview dude.
Oh.
And promises more violence.
Oh, why y'all jump him?
They promise more violence.
Why y'all jump him for?
They promise more violence for the elite.
That's not
right. They've been jumping everybody like that.
They had to jump
They
him,
did it
though.
too. I think it happens on this Rampage coming up, so I'll just tease it now. So like he had a match with Christopher Daniels. And he beat Christopher Daniels in a match, right? But they was gonna try to jump Christopher Daniels after the match, like the rest of Blackpool Combat Club. And he stopped him. Moxley did. He stopped him. He was like, no, Cesaro. Claudio, my bad. Called him his slave name. Said, no, you cool, go to the back. So they went to the back and started cutting a promo, and he walked up on Christopher Daniels like, no, I respect you. You were OG.
They beat the fuck out of him.
And then Christopher Daniels was like, kind of surprised. I expect the way you guys been acting lately that you didn't have this in you anymore. But all right. And he kind of like begrudgingly shook his hand. And as soon as he stopped shaking his hand, like went back to like wiping himself off after the loss and shit, they just turned around and jump him anyway.
Said one thing too many.
4 Pillars Tournament Final, your main event. Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. Take a wild guess who won this match. It went 12 minutes and 49 seconds.
I'm probably going to be wrong. I'm going to say Darby.
Nope.
I
Sammy
knew it.
Guevara won.
I knew it.
Less than a minute after Allen went through a table after catching a 630. He was loading up for a coffin drop, but Mello distracts the referee. Sammy Guevara's wife. She distracted the referee, allowing MJF to throw Allen in the skateboard. Guevara drops down. Then D is a DQ. He did the I lied, she still. He grabbed the skateboard and threw it at Darby and then dropped down like he got hit by it behind the ref's back. Was called the DQ so they could win the match.
He pulled the Eddie.
Yeah. Post match, so damn, man.
You all right?
Nah, something strange. Look down the hall, man. There you go. We done let it in the room. You done let it in the room. 430 Shivani!
Skip on. Tony, you better be doing it, Tony. Tony. I am. Okay then, Tony.
So during this
Britt Baker, the dog, and Tony.
during this match, MJF was on commentary the whole time, and he kept just like kind of shitting on Shivani and shit the whole time while he was up there, calling him a fat lard and this that. Telling him how he ain't shit.
Oh.
This, that, and the third. So Tony got his back later though.
Oh.
So he gets on the mic after the match, and they're kind of gloating that they got the DQs. Like, it's the same main event, da 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 da. And they're just trying to walk out. Shivani gets on the mic like, well, hold on there. Now, I just got word from Tony in the back, and I might be a big fat piece of crap like you said, but you, sir, have a tag team match next week. You and Sammy are taking on Darby and Jungle Boy, and if Darby and Jungle Boy win, we get 4-way for the title at Double or Nothing. So MJF is also, so pissed off and everything like that. And that was the end of Dynamite.
Tony got his ass.
For April 26th.
Go get back, Tony.
And we'll get more into this on the next show.
Go get back, Tony. Go shit back, Tony.
That was Dynamite.
All right.
Yeah.
You also got SmackDown.
Oh, damn it. I
You
forgot.
got the rest
Sorry.
of the week?
Yeah, I do. My bad. Well, at least I have it pulled up, so I'm ready. I just forgot that it was.
No, you're good.
All right. So, on SmackDown, it is the first night of the draft. So, let's get into the draft picks. First picks, Bloodline, obviously, which includes Paul Heyman, Solo, and Roman. Bianca Belair, Raw Women's Champion, was Raw's pick. Or was actually SmackDown's pick, I'm sorry. So all of them are staying on SmackDown. Monday night, because I got confused there when I was saying it, because they alternate picks. But the way they have it listed here, they named the 2 picks for each show as opposed to alternating. So SmackDown's 2 picks were the Bloodline and Bianca Belair. Raw's 2 picks were Cody Rhodes and Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Don't know if they're going to do the same thing as they did last year, where they kind of just handed each other the titles. Remember, they had the issue with Becky and Charlotte.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know if that's going down again, but they basically flip-flop champions.
Basically.
Yeah. So it went on with more than the women's champion, but we'll get there. First match of the night was Butch against my boy Puma Asics.
L.A.
Yeah. He's going to Raw, by the way.
I'm calling it now. He needs to win Money in the Bank.
He's going to Raw. I would love that,
I
actually.
want him to win Money in the Bank.
He's going to Raw, by the way, just in case you were wondering. By the way, hold on. Pause. We're going to do a little bit of reverse so I can get my Tony Schiavone moment. It's absolutely correct. Now that I got my phone open back up, my notes is going to let me go here a little bit once it loads. Come on. You're ruining my show.
As it does that, but LA Knight beat Butch with the Bloods for a Trauma after about 8 minutes. That match was basically just set up with him talking shit about them when they were talking in the back. The brawling brutes, and he just making fun of Butch. Said, if you guys get sent to Raw and get split up, who's gonna feed Butch? Yeah.
So that's how that match got set up. All right, so anyway, back to the Tony Schiavone moment. It was in the middle of the Darby Allin match versus Sammy Guevara, and MJF proceeds to tell Schiavone, "You're a miserable fat old prick." And Tony says, "I know, but still." So then later,
So then later,
Just gave up, like.
Tony tells him, "Listen up, you prick." MJF says, "You can't talk to me like that." And Tony says, "Actually, I just did." And then he announces the match. So that was the actual thing that he said there. And then we'll get into the other one
Actually, I did. So I can't.
we'll get into the second one when we get to
I
next
like they just
week.
make him a sarcastic asshole. Like Tony gonna get his shit back.
All right. Paul Heyman's in the back giving a pep talk to Solo, talking about it's his time. Next round of picks is up. Rob Van Dam is making picks, and so is Michael Hayes.
God, we just talked about
I
Rob
bet
Van
they
Dam.
smoke together in the back.
Yeah.
SmackDown's picks are Edge making his final run out here in WWE because he was recently on Logan Paul's show, Impulsive, and he said that he wants to go out, but he wants to have he doesn't want to go out like typical. He has a couple things. He said it's not going to be too long, but I think like the rest of this year, maybe less than a year.
Yeah,
he says he has some things on his list he wants to pick off, but not too much.
Yeah.
So we get another year Edge at least. He's going to SmackDown along with the Street Profits, which makes sense. And you could have known that obviously because his wife is over there, so is Montez Ford.
Yeah.
And then they keep couples
Also,
together.
too, the
usually.
send off they gave on Raw kind of seemed like that they were leaving brand. So
Monday Night Raw gets Imperium, all three, and they keep Riddle. Next match is the Street Profits on their new show, taking on Ricochet and Braun Strowman, and taking on LWO. This one goes to the Street Profits.
of course, they're not going to make them lose, especially if they're about to.
Cash out with a pin on Ricochet for 7 minutes and 37 seconds.
Oh, Ricochet took the pin.
They're staying together, though. They went over the Raw. We'll get to that in a little bit. Next picks are made by JBL and Teddy Long. Holla, holla, player. SmackDown gets Bobby Lashley and all of the OC, Mishan, the Good Brothers, and AJ Styles. Monday Night Raw gives Drew McIntyre, if he stays with the company, because nobody said he resigned yet. And The Miz. Next match, Zelina Vega versus Sonya Deville. Chelsea Green's out here with Deville. Vega gets the victory after 3 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yes.
With the roll-up.
Yeah, and also, by the way, yes, they jumped that again because congratulations to Carmella.
Pregnant.
Yes.
Hey, all that fucking had to lead to something.
Yeah, last time I think she lost the baby the first time. Go, that's why she.
So I hope it works out.
Congratulations to Carmella. Though.
Do you notice it happened to be a thing in wrestling with, I don't know, it gets people's dirty laundry being spread. Look at the thing with Sammy Guevara proposing to that one chick, and then within 2 months later, he is announced for being with Ty Mello and shit. Then you had his whole Corey Graves' whole marriage debacle thing that led to Carmella. So it's just crazy seeing how
Bray Wyatt and
Bray
JoJo.
Wyatt, and then they all end up having babies with the next chick and shit. So yeah, so it's crazy. I don't know. I just find it ironic. But congratulations to everybody. Everybody go do your thing. Not hating here. Anyway, continuing with the shows. Lena Vega wins this match. Post-match, Green tries to run up on her, but Rhea Ripley comes in and scares her off and gives a riptide to Vega. And then, she tried to give her the riptide and they got countered to a DDT and Ripley built. Post coming back from the break, Mysterio giving her props along with Santos Escobar because she has a title match coming up at Backlash in Puerto Rico. Then we have your not main event yet, sorry. Skip ahead on me. Shawn Michaels out with the Road Dogg to make the next picks. Oh, in between that, the OC came out for a talk. They got interrupted by the Viking Raiders and Valhalla. They brawled and ran them off. Next
Like you said, Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg. I feel like this is about to be where all the NXT stars probably about to get probably swooped up. Probably.
They made picks. Their picks were SmackDown gets Damage Control and Alpha Fire and Isla Dawn.
Nice.
No word if they're coming with their belts or not.
Probably not.
Match, remember I said about Indy before, which I found ironic that she hurt her knee in that match, and then she also came out earlier in the show and said how she plans on defending. Why? When you're getting called up, you're not gonna have that belt much longer. She's one of the picks for Monday Night Raw, along with Shinsuke Nakamura. Shawn Michaels said looked like he's devastated by the news.
Or what?
of losing Indy and Alpha Fire because Road Dogg says, I don't know if you can lose your smile twice. And of course, they show them at the Performance Center and they get confronted by Caden Carter and Katana Chance because they want the title shot at them next week on NXT. Karrion Kross jumps Shinsuke Nakamura backstage. Heyman gives the Usos another pep talk. They recap the revealing of the World Heavyweight Championship from on Raw to be the main event. Tag titles rematch: Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. 17 minutes, 41 seconds. Luva kick for the retaining of the titles. That is the end of SmackDown. Now let's jump. Solo looks from the crowd, but nothing happens. All right. Next up, Rampage, baby. Starts off with Bullet Club Gold, which is Switchblade Jay White and Juice Robinson, taking on Ricky Starks and Sean Spears. In this one, Blade Runner finishes off Sean Spears in 9 minutes and 47 seconds. He tried to do a C4, but they got basically broken up and countered into this. The Hardys and Hook are mad at the Firm for kidnapping Isaiah Cassidy. The Firm pops up on the screen, and they basically like a double shot, like they're looking at it like on a video or something, but they do a double shot on the screen. And they take Cassidy, and the way they filmed this was so cheese, because you could tell from the way that Ethan was holding like the camera, like he was talking into it. He was standing here, but they made it seem like the Butcher and the Blade had Isaiah Cassidy like he was on another level. Like, you know how you be in a warehouse and something be stacked on the top shelf?
Yeah.
So they filmed it like they're looking at Ethan, but the top shelf was like here. That's why I said it looked at shots, because it didn't look like it was that high of a distance to really fall from. But they like choke slammed him off of that. But the way they did it though, they threw him off camera, and then you could tell that somebody was like, and like made the splat in the ground. Cause then the camera went down to the ground, and then you saw him laid out. Like he had time to jump off and then just laid out. It was geek. It was geek. It didn't look as bad as I'm explaining it, but that's how I took it. That's how you didn't see it. I'm just saying, in my mind, this is how this happened. As I'm watching it, and only just because of the levels of him being on one level, talking to the camera, and them being in the backdrop on another level up, they didn't seem like it was that high up. I was just like, this looks fucking weird, but all right, whatever. I'm going to suspend belief, as I do every week watching wrestling, but I just thought it was funny watching the shit. But basically, they're trying to goat them into finding out when the match is going to be. Big Bill, sorry, it wasn't Butcher and the Blade. It was Big Bill and Tiger Style with the green hair. I can't remember his name on top of my head right now. But anyway, they choke slammed him off camera. So next up is Naturally Limitless, which is Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee taking
like
on
fucking granddad.
He let it go. I guess he dyed it before. I always kind of thought he did, because it just looked like extremely black. But I was like, no, whatever. Now he lets it go, so now I can tell he did. But good for him, whatever. This match went 2 minutes 8 seconds. Squash match, total dominance. Spirit Bomb finishes off the James guy. Mogul Embassy comes out for a stare down after the match. Ty Mello interrupts Sammy Guevara and yells in agony for him laying down for MJF. Anna Jay versus Ashley D'Ambrose. This is basically another squash match. It went 5 minutes though. Queen Slayer finishes off Ashley, and it's basically just to set up a match between her and Julia Hart. So she's basically mad because Julia Hart spit the mist in her face, and that helped turn her into Anna Jay. But then like, are you mad about it that you're heel now or what? I'm not sure, but basically she keeps calling her a spooky bitch. That's like her dig at her. Like, I'm gonna get you, spooky bitch. Like, that's her thing. All right, so
Just make Anna Jay face again.
I don't know.
She wasn't
that good, bro. She wasn't that good as a face. She
God,
had her best matches as a heel.
I know
that tag match. That
shit just
that tag match with Ty Mello against Willow Nightingale and Ruby Soho. That match was raw. And the one they had before. And no. The face one was the first one when they went against Penelope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she had a good one at face and heel.
Yes.
I just hate her at this whole.
I feel you, but
heel thing,
it feels like she's trying too hard, but I let her rock. Let her rock. So we get our main event where we get your boy again, but since it's not him in the match, I'm gonna save it for the next one because it's more apropos for that. But Jay Lethal, so Slapnuts was out for this one with Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt. Basically, they taking on Cash Wheeler, and somehow in solos they pull out the victory so that they can lose as a tag team together. Is my guess. The Lethal Injection finishes off Wheeler at 12 minutes and 18 seconds. That was the end of Rampage, and then it's still on me because I had all of the drafts. Somehow I felt like this. Could we alternate weeks? Monday Night Raw,
You'll
the
be
draft
okay.
continues. I'm not complaining.
I know. I'm just
Monday Night Raw starts off with the picks of Rhea Ripley and Seth Rollins.
Raw got.
Yep.
Okay.
SmackDown gets Austin Theory and Charlotte Flair. So here's my question. So we talked about champions exchanging titles. Are you just gonna move the U.S. title to SmackDown now and move the Intercontinental
so.
back?
Probably.
So then they don't have to swap?
Probably.
Okay, so then the women's will still swap?
I'm assuming. Because it's the Raw Women's Champion and the SmackDown Women's Champion. So I'm assuming.
Yeah, that I
That's
see.
why they're probably
The
gonna
world
swap.
titles, we know what's up there.
So I think they're not going to swap the U.S. title and the Intercontinental.
I'm assuming they're just switching shows. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably just going to switch shows.
That's what I assume. All right, so with those picks in, moving on. Backstage, they have Paul Heyman comes out for a chat with Triple H after looking at the new World Heavyweight Championship. He's here to address some issues that Roman wants to bring up. First of all, the Bloodline has been drafted to SmackDown, meaning tonight we find out the fate of the Usos. I believe they didn't go to SmackDown. I believe they're on Raw. We'll get to that in a little bit.
They did with the SmackDown.
Oh, they did?
I think so.
Well, we'll find out here. I also have like free agent picks and all that, but since we're stretched for time, we'll talk about that next week. But I have all the picks from the total of both shows and everybody they didn't announce on TV. Usos did not win back their tag titles. Heyman will address them privately, but on Saturday there's a six-man tag between the Bloodline, Sami Zayn, Usos, and Matt Riddle. Either way, Reigns will be on SmackDown next week to take care of a lot of things, including the World Heavyweight title, or not. Next up, this earlier today, this show Cody Rhodes arrived and asked him not to get out of hand with Brock Lesnar. That was Adam Pearce asking that. Damage Control taking on Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Liv and La Vida Lucha. That's not their name. That's what I'm calling.
That's what you're calling them.
Yeah. This one ends with Morgan getting the pin on a roll-up on Bayley after reversing a sunset flip after 8 minutes. Brock Lesnar arrives early. Pierce tells him the same thing, and Lesnar tells him, "Yeah, good luck with that." Booker T and Sharmell are out to announce the next picks. I don't think she should be allowed. I know she's Queen Sharmell, but she shouldn't be allowed to announce picks after she had the worst match of all time.
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw gets Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and they get the Judgment Day. SmackDown, you're right, they do keep the Usos, and they also get LWO. Next up, Ricochet and Braun Strowman on their new show. Take on Alpha Academy. Swanton off of Strowman's shoulders by Ricochet pins Otis at 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Next up, recap of Damian
match
Priest.
being like 2 minutes.
All the squash matches at that. Next match, Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny recap. They also have Shawn Michaels and Adam Pearce that announce the next picks. Brock Lesnar interrupts. Pearce tries to calm him down. Lesnar just gets in the ring and asks how it feels to look at the only real cowboy in Texas. Pearce sets security out, but Lesnar says that's not enough. More security comes out and stares him down until Cody Rhodes gets the drop on Brock, hits him from the back with a single right hand. Security separates them with Lesnar, not exactly trying to get through them, but Rhodes was trying to get through all securities, and they just kept sending wave after wave after wave. It was crazy. It wasn't that crazy because they do this shit all the time, but I guess they tried to make it a little different. Back to the picks. Monday Night Raw gets Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, the women's tag team champions, also known here on this show as Liv and La Vida Lucha. And they get the New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Did hear good news on Big E. Heard his surgery went well. Heard he progressing towards coming back soon. Not exact date, but that's good news to hear about him. SmackDown gets Asuka and the Brawling Brutes.
Oh.
Matt Riddle excited to be on the same show as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. He has a match next against Jimmy Uso. Floating Bro finishes off Jimmy at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Next, I have a recap video on EO Sky. Rob Van Dam is out to make picks again. Rob Van Dam's out here to make picks again, but runs to Elias and Rick Boogs, who go along with him. Paul Heyman gets Solo Sikoa a pep talk, and Jimmy Uso comes in. Jimmy Uso wants to know where Sikoa was during his match to help him, but Heyman says Sikoa had an assignment from Roman Reigns. Heyman and Sikoa leave. Next up, Bischoff is out to make picks with Van Dam. Raw gets Trish Stratus, and they get the combination of Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. SmackDown gets Karrion Kross with Scarlett. And yeah, Puma Asics stays on SmackDown.
LA Knight.
But I swear they said he was going to Raw.
Nah, he stayed on SmackDown.
All right, well. Miz TV's up next.
Your boy, Puma Aces.
Yeah, Miz TV's up next. Has Shinsuke out. Miz thinks Nakamura could be a great world champion. Nakamura bring up Miz's nuts. And
Can we
he hits
stop
him with
with
it.
the ball joke, please?
Hits him with a Kinshasa and takes a bow. Almost takes on Anthony Alanis. 48-second match. You can imagine what happened. Road Dogg's next out to make more picks. This time he comes out with Molly Holly. Raw gets Braun Strowman and Ricochet, and they get Bronson Reed. SmackDown gets Shotzi and yeah, boy, Pretty Deadly.
Oh man,
And they love
and they
that.
got killed off.
In the notes here, it says
Yo boy,
In the
yo
note,
boy.
in the notes here, it says Pretty Deadly has handled what seems to be dying pretty well. Judgment Day's out. Talk about sticking together. Promise to win in Backlash. Rhea Ripley says she isn't overly nervous about facing Zelina Vega. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
They get interrupted by LWO. This leads to...
Tag match?
Yup,
Somebody?
player.
Of course.
Yup, after 8 minutes, 48 seconds, 619 on Priest. But he tried to get 619 on Priest, but distraction by Balor caused that to turn into a South of Heaven by over the ropes into the ring for the victory by Judgment Day. More picks, Teddy Long and JBL out for these. Alpha Academy, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are going to Raw. So they won't be winning those tag titles either. What happens to them? SmackDown, Rick Boogs, and maybe my favorite pick of the entire draft so far. To the moon.
Yeah.
Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes, baby. There we go.
Next up, main event, Seth Rollins versus Solo Sikoa. This is basically because he said he wanted a champion. I'm not sure how we got into this. I think it's because he talked about wanting the title, the new one they have, and somehow that offended Roman Reigns, so he sent Solo Sikoa to teach him a lesson or something.
Roman got offended about the fact that they bought a whole new title. And then Seth
Let one of them motherfuckers go then.
And then Seth made some comments like, well, technically, he said, I am the only person that Roman Reigns technically haven't even really beaten. Beaten like you talking about like clean too, like you ain't really beat me clean every time you beat me. But I beat you clean every time I beat you though. Like basically like rubbing it in Roman's face basically. He's talking shit to Roman.
Basically, this match ends in DQ after 10 minutes, 39 seconds. Usos run in. Post-match, Owens and Zayn come in for the save, which is weird after all the beef him and Seth had for the longest time. So, and that's the end of Raw, and I can stop talking for a minute.
Get to NXT. It opens with a recap of all the guys from NXT that got drafted. North American title match will kick it off. Yo boy, Gabagulak versus Wesley.
Gabagoo.
Wesley is out here with Tyler Bate. Gabagulak is out here with Charlie Dempsey. Lee wins this match with the cardiac kick after Dempsey tries to interfere, but he gets cut off by Tyler Bate at the 5 minute and 23 seconds. For a 5 minute match, they got a lot in at a 5 minute match. A 5 minute match.
But Wesley retains?
Yes, of course Wesley's going to retain.
Yeah, of course.
Next, we get Carmelo Hayes after he talk about him retaining his title. Then talk about trying to throw out the breaker. Then they show how you get wrecked. Alpha Fire and Isla Dawn said they're ready to retain their NXT Women's Tag Team Championship before they leave NXT for good. They're going to leave the place in darkness. Trick Williams comes out here, and he is on one. He's upset about last week. He said he known Hayes since high school. They've been friends for years. He said he took a spear for Hayes. He said he'll do it again. Braun basically said Williams must be tougher than Hayes because you're actually here. Here. Their match is on for Battleground, but Trick wants to face Breaker, and Breaker said they'll do it on my time so we can fight next week. Well, some more picks about to get spoiled. JD Madonna is ready to move up to Raw. He's on Raw now. But Noam Dar tells him he can take out Dragon Lee. He says stay away from him or he'll take that Heritage Cup to Raw with him. Basically, Dar just been getting basically just like trash talk by everybody. He came up here. Next we get Gigi Dolan versus JC Jane. Again, Jane hits the spinning kick to win at like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know why they're not giving them much time for some weird reason, but it basically just to even up the match 1-1, so I think they're going to have a big blow-off match, hopefully. Jane basically keep beating the... Now, this is the part that was funny. So, she's beating the shit out of her, and Gigi Dolan's brother is in the front row. So, she's like literally like beating the fuck out of her, like right in front of her brother as her brother is crying, and she just mocking him as she just keep beating him up.
It's a little boy?
Huh?
It's a little boy?
He ain't a little boy, but you know, like...
But he crying?
I mean, Gigi Dolan like 23 something. He's probably like 16, 17, something like that.
That's too old to be crying.
Hey, I don't know. Hey, it's his sister. Sister getting beat up. I don't know.
That's soft, bro.
I mean,
That's soft.
maybe, but then again, they probably made him play cry. Probably, I don't know. They probably said put some
He
onion on
said
your
play
eyes or
cry.
something. I'm just assuming.
All right.
Assuming. Exxon versus Scripps. Scripps gets no entrance. You already know what that means. Exxon wins at 4 minutes and 17 seconds. I'm tired of him fighting Scripps. He just keeps beating them all the time. Give him something else to do, please.
Let Scripps get a dub.
And after the match, Scripps goes there to Exxon, and then Exxon takes the match off. No, we all knew it was Reggie, so no surprise there. Brooke Jensen joined...
Wait. That's been Reggie the whole time, right?
Huh?
That's right.
Everybody knew it was Reggie the whole time. You can tell it was Reggie by the moves he do. Because he like all the athletic shit they do. You knew it was Reggie. Everybody knew it was Reggie. Reggie.
All right.
Brooke Jensen joined Josh Briggs and found her lay at the bar, and they thanked him for dealing with him. They say you don't need to apologize. You learned enough from Cannon James. He said, but I did learn enough from Cannon James to help make more money. Then some women come up and hit on him, but he declines the women because he's with his peoples, because he's with them. These make him like a new
I want this over so bad, bro. Every time you bring this shit up, I feel like you feel about Joe Gacy. This is how long, bro.
I have not making Joe
feel
Gacy
like,
at all these
bro,
last two shows.
listen to me, brother. We been on this show together for years now, okay? I feel like we've been talking about this damn storyline since we were on Redline. Now I'm probably wrong,
You are wrong.
but it feels like it.
Feels like it, yeah.
Jeez, it started with, oh, he liked the girl, but he don't know how to talk to her. Then this other chick come in, she's showing him some love. Now he gonna leave his boy. You told me that part like 2-3 months ago. And we just now getting here. Then we're gonna go full circle. Bitches actually want you. They actually want to throw you some play. And you, oh, I'm with my folk. Now. All right.
Hey. I'd rather watch this than Joe Gacy anytime now.
All right.
Not bad. That's how I feel about Joe Gacy. By the way, he was mentioned on Spring Break, and I just intentionally skipped him. Next we get Dragon Lee versus JD. Great match. JD gets the win here. 15 minutes. Next, Wesley and Dar brawl to the back. Katana Chance and Kane Carr said they're ready to win the tag team championship because they're a better team. And then I fucking mentioned it. Spam said he's ready to sacrifice his body to Joe Coffey to get Dyad tag team title match.
Oh my.
Then we go to the parking lot of all the. Then we go to the ACL parking lot of Doom. They're basically just showing everybody get took out because I think Nikita Lyons tore her ACL in that parking lot. NXT just been having women tear their ACLs. So they tied it to
Did they really call it the ACL
No, I
parking lot
call
of
it
Doom?
that. Because think about it. Think about it. Nikita Lyons tore her ACL, got took out in the parking lot. Wendy Chu tore her ACL, got took out in the parking lot. Soul Cole got took out in the parking lot, tore her ACL. So it's just like, I guess if you get seen in the parking lot being hurt, you must have tore something serious. You're gonna be out a while. Hell
no.
Next we get Spam versus Joe Coffey. And I hate shit like this. This motherfucker actually beat Joe Coffey. Thanks to help with the Diaz. But he still fucking won. In 3 minutes or less.
You know what else I hate this every time you bring it up? They don't even want to be there.
Oh.
And they won't give them their release.
I know they won't.
They don't want
That's why they looking like, well, we'll just give you tag team title shots. Shots. Next, Soruko via phone. Tank Ledger, Hank Walker give Danny Palmer pep talk. Eddie Thorpe was training earlier when Damon Kemp walked on, telling him to take out the trash. Kemp calls him a young boy. Thorpe feels some kind of way about that. That leads to a match. Poor Damon Kemp, they bought his ass up, and he ain't been doing shit neither since he got his ass whooped by fucking Diamond Mine. Danny Palmer versus Tatum Paxley. Palmer gets the win here at 4 minutes. So, she wins her debut match. Fortunately, at the expense. Andre Chase is too banged up from facing Braun Breaker, which means he can't teach this week. He can't teach Chase you this week. I think it's just embarrassing because you got your ass up in like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Duke Hudson said he'll teach. Next, we get Von Wagner. This shit hurts my fucking soul. This is another one.
Can I wait? Hold on. Before you continue, how long is this fucking episode, bro? I feel like you've been talking forever. Go ahead.
And the thing is, like, I'm going through this shit quick. It just feels like they stretched this fucking NXT out. Wagner and Stone are going to a photo album.
Oh, God.
But Wagner don't want to talk about one of the photos, so he leave. And there's a baby dealing with medical issues, so it's probably Wagner. Your women tag team title match. Great back and forth match here. Dawn and Fire retain with the Gory Bond downward spiral combination to retain at 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Dijak Blade dragging off for the beating he received last week. Cruz gives Trick a pep talk. Then this is how we will close the show right here. It's Indy Hartwell. She gets a "You Deserve It" chant. She's not in walking boots and crutches, so apparently the injury was not as bad as what's her name. She talks about her past, how she got hurt in her defense, her reign wasn't in on the medical table, she's on her way to Raw. There will be a tournament to crown a new women's champion, which the champion will be crowned at Battleground.
So why in the fuck would you have her cut that promo last week? You pre-planned this shit. You pre-planned it. So you basically just threw a whole wrench in your own fucking planning. I know it's small. I get it. I'm just saying, I believe in continuity. This doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna defend it, be the best champ. A week later, well, looks like I'm going to Raw, y'all. Sorry. Go on and take this shit. What the fuck, man? Go ahead.
We're going to get, so it's going to be a tournament. Champion will be crowned at Battleground. Hartwell leaves the ring. Dexter Loomis pops out from underneath that ring. He basically carries her up the ramp. And then we get Cora Jade and Tiffany Stratton picks up the title, leads to all the women, the contenders brawling to end the show. So Tiffany Stratton's probably going to win that title, though, probably.
Yeah, I expect it. Alrighty. Well,
that's it.
Over back in AEW. Show opens up. Oh, wait, did I talk about this? Okay, so. Alright, I didn't talk about this last week. Okay, so I fucked up a little bit. So, Roger Strong made his debut, and you had a story to tell about that. It happened when Cole, when I was talking about Cole, had cut the promo and called out Jericho, but Jericho didn't come out, or Jericho did come out, but he just had the JAS jump him, and then cats came down to help him, right?
Yeah.
And then one of them happened to be Roger Strong. It was also Orange Cassidy and Bandito, but it was kind of a numbers game because it was 4-on-3. Roger Strong came out to a good pop. I ain't gonna say a great pop, a good pop. And then helped even up the odds. So that leads to this match. Finish the story first, and I'll get into it.
Okay, so real quick, his contract expired in November. WWE don't announce NXT departures, and since it wasn't a release, his departure flew under the radar. So Strong was still listed as a member of the NXT roster. He'd been moved. He'd not been moved to alumni page. His contract, WWE thought ran the next year, but it wasn't.
This is a publicly traded company. Publicly traded company worth billions of dollars. We saw them and then it sold for $21 billion. How in the fuck do you not know when somebody's contract is coming up? This is not a one-time thing. This shit happens with them all the time. How do you randomly forget? Don't you hire people to that's just their fucking job? Hey, let me know when this guy's deal's up. Or did it not matter because they weren't going to resign him?
Probably why.
Okay.
Like I said, they said.
I'll bring back the bluster now that I
Like they
think
said-
about
they
it.
said-
Because I'm
and
about to say, like, what do you mean they didn't know?
Yeah, like they said NXT departures. They don't announce NXT departures when their contract.
The fuck? Didn't they say the same thing with Adam Cole? Or they tried to resign Cole?
They tried to resign
But
Cole,
didn't
though.
they act like, oh, we didn't know it was coming up?
No, they knew Cole contract was up.
Oh, see,
Cole
if
signed
it's
an extension.
important enough, they know.
Cole signed
See,
an extension,
that's what
yeah.
it is. That's what it is. If it's important enough, then they
Yeah.
fucking remember the shit. All right.
Yeah. So they've been talking to him for a while. Of course, you know he's married to Marina Shafir.
Mm-hmm.
Fear. He had been at Performance Center late, but they told him he was doing well, was clear to compete. He'd been talking to officials for some time and deal to bring him in. It was time for Adam Cole return. It was time after Adam Cole's return, which the AJ, I guess, the one that's supposed to be in Florida, because that's where Strong lives. But Strong's kept hitting under the FAL Live Arena until it was time for him to debut. Times were surprised to see him there, because he's liked by many in the industry. So
All right.
and he's
Well,
one of the well-respected guys in the industry. You could say, don't nobody have a bad thing to say about Roger Strong, the messiah of the backbreakers.
though the backbreakers he was doling knowledge are kind of weak, I gotta be honest.
No.
Hopefully they get better as we move on. Anyway, so he makes his debut match here in a 4-way tag with Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole, baby, and Bandito taking on Jericho Appreciation Society's Matt Menard, Jake Hager, Angelo Parker, and Danny Garcia. Good guys get the dub.
Nice.
After 14 minutes, 19 seconds, Adam Cole lowers the boom on Parker's face.
It's all about the boom.
Post-match, Cole charged up the barricade after Jericho, and even breaks the set down while jumping him. Like, he didn't expect it. It was funny. Like, Jericho was on the headset talking and looking over here at the commentary team, then looks over spear.
Damn.
Yeah, he caught one. Jungle Boy and Darby Allin getting ready for their match before the tag matches in the main event. Security takes Adam Cole out of the arena as Jericho shouts about how dangerous Cole is. Britt Baker comes in and slaps Jericho out of nowhere. Blackpool Combat Club talk about how Kenny Omega thinks that he's a legend. Bryan Danielson is better than him, though, and
He
the
is a
best
legend.
wrestler in the world today. If not, it's one of his teammates. The future of wrestling is better because of him, though, and he wants someone like Wheeler Yuta to be better. They're willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. John Moxley talks about how they work to make each other better, and next week he's facing Omega in a cage match.
Oh,
Yeah, buddy.
that's gonna be fire.
Sarai taking on Willow Nightingale, pushing Outcast more. Willow Nightingale hits a pounce on Solo and drops Storm, who came in for the distraction, but they catches the Midnight, which is the Rampage from Page. For the pin in 6 minutes and 39 seconds. After the match, they tried to jump her, but then somebody came out to join their ranks. Yo, girl, Hikaru Shida.
Yes.
But she decides she's not turning heel.
Of course she's not.
Nope, she stays face. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter come in.
I'm just happy to see her
help beat up
back.
the Outcast. She was beating them down with kendo sticks. Then they got spray painted instead.
I'm just happy to see Hikaru Shida back.
House of Black throws down the Trios title and said they want them to mean more. Said they have an open house, which is interesting because they're the House of Black. Any three people can challenge them for the belt under house rules. It means 20 counts on the floor, no rope breaks, and DQ is enforced under dealer's choice. The house always wins. So that was awesome. And then we get to one of the dumbest name battle royals I ever heard of, the Tres de Mail Trios Battle Royal. Do you know what that
The
means?
who?
I'm gonna say it again. You should be able to get this. This is why I said this is one of the dumbest names, because they act like just because it's in Spanish you can't read between the lines to understand what the fuck this means. Tres de Mayo's Trios Battle Royal.
Was it triple threat battle royal?
Basically, the 3rd of May Trios 3 Battle
Yeah.
Royal, because the show was on the 3rd of May. Tres de Mayo's. See, I was like. I had to shake my head on that one. Like, come on, Tone.
Oh.
Come on.
You trying too hard.
You're not trying hard enough.
That's a try hard moment.
I don't know Spanish. I read through that shit like that. Okay. Participants, El Hijo del Vikingo, Lucha Brothers, Varsity Athletes, Dark Order, Butcher and the Blade, Kip Sabian, QTV, and Powerhouse Hobbs, Billy Gunn, and The Acclaimed. All right, so I'm going to tell you, The Acclaimed won. I'm not going to go through all particulars of this damn thing. It was 9 minutes and 31 seconds. So The Acclaimed have a future trios title match coming up. But, and that's including, Bowens, Gunn, and Caster. Now, the funniest part of this whole shit is that your boy Court eliminated himself. So, do you remember when,
I'm glad you called him Court. That's his name.
he basically eliminated himself in this one.
Why?
He was running from somebody in the ring. I forgot exactly.
Oh, God.
I think it was. It ended up being because of Vikingo at first. Yeah, basically. Yep. Basically, and then Hobbs ends up trying to take out Vikingo, and it does, but then gets put over by Billy Gunn, takes him out. So, anyway, the Acclaim won that one. So moving on, Sammy Guevara isn't happy with MJF, who told him last week. He said, "You try to play me, basically." And Russell says they're still friends for the night. They make sure the Double Nothing Man event stays between just them. And Jeff has a bad back from carrying the company, which is enough for Guevara to buy his excuse. That's what he said, though. That was literally his words. I was dying. He said, "Man, I've been working with this bad back, from carrying the company." Anyway, but he just kind of slid it in there. Kenny Omega, one of the most serious promos I've ever seen him give. With Don Callis said they're ready for John Moxley next week. Moxley is a crazy man. Omega will be ready for him. Even if Moxley makes Omega bleed, it won't be enough because Omega is ready to end it next week. And then he said, "Good night. Good luck, good night." He said the whole thing, but he didn't say it. He was real serious. He didn't give you the bang. Because the bang would have been.
Damn. He is serious.
Wardlow taking on Logan LaRue, 1 minute, 27 seconds. At least they told you the time of this squash match this time. Powerbomb Simply non-title match.
That's good. You got a time, buddy.
This time, Christian Cage comes out and he actually speaks this time instead of just standing there ominously. And he's with Luchasaurus again. Nope. Sorry, Christian Cage is the one with the title shot, not Luchasaurus. Oh, there we go. Slapnuts appearance.
Oh, again?
We have a wild Slapnuts in the building.
Dylan. J-E-double-F. J-A-double-R-E to double T. Jeff Jarrett, baby.
So, Jeff and Jay decided to go visit Mark on the farm in Delaware. Mark decides, fuck, I don't put y'all to work since y'all want to come out here. Brought Sanjay Dutt out there and Satnam Singh, both looking like Slapnuts. Satnam Singh from growing his hair out looks kind of weird. They wind up sitting around with Jeff playing the guitar, but Papa Briscoe comes in and glare at him. Everybody down. Papa tells him to be worried about them. The team comes with a peace offering, though, a singles match for Briscoe on Rampage. He was taking on in his singles match. What did he face in that singles match? We'll talk about it when we get to Rampage. It doesn't matter right now. Ricky Stark. Hey, everything's tying together because we got a Savani moment buddy come up soon, too. It was during this match. Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson. Contending their feud they've had recently. Somehow they're going to stretch it out. Not exactly sure how, though. I'm assuming the next one will be Jay White in a one-on-one match with Ricky Starks. In this one, Ricky Starks went to Rochambeau to finish off Juice at 9 minutes and 16 seconds. Post-match, Jay White comes in to help with a beatdown on Starks. But before that could happen, he tried to Rochambeau him also, but Juice Robinson pulls him out of the air, so he can't. So he can't do it fully. But that leads me to something else. Fuck Tony Schiavone!
Skill on. Tony, you had 2 of these, Tony. Tony.
He's had a busy
week.
week.
Tony.
He's had a busy week.
Stop interfering in shit, Tony. Come on, Tony.
All right, so
Love you, Tony.
this first one, this first one he had here is pretty funny. He has then we got a JR one on Rampage too. So in this match, he's talking to Taz and Excalibur, and they're talking about All In and stuff. And Tony asked Taz, like, hey, man, so, when we in London, you gonna call me going sightseeing? Taz looks at him with the straightest face and was like, absolutely not. I'll be staying in my room. So later on, they're talking about Juice Robinson and his figure and stuff like that. And Taz is like, hey, Tony, I bet you looked like that back in the day, except absolutely different. And Tony says, yeah, I used to have a little wild hair, but a bit of more of a gut, Taz said, yeah, you look more like him, laying down.
Oh.
So he played Tony.
Damn.
He was like, man, you want to come sightseeing with me? He sounded so excited. That's like, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
He said that shit smooth as fuck. I was dying. Hell no. Anyway, then we're gonna move on from there. They preview basically the firm release the match what's coming up. MJF pitches an alliance with Jungle. Yeah, he catches Jungle Boy and Darby Allin in their dressing room. Darby Allin leaves to go to the match. Jungle Boy's about to walk out, but it's like MJF was sitting on the side of the door like this.
He was eavesdropping, but trying not to eavesdrop, but then just scantly just walked up when he's leaving.
As soon as he rolled in. Yeah, exactly. He rolled in, he pitched an alliance with Jungle Boy. He said he loves him like a brother. Jungle Boy isn't so. He said he wants the title. Darby Allin happens to walk back in the room and sees this and says, "Oh, you trying to play me now behind my back?" Type of deal. That's how he trying to play it up like that. And MJF just walks out like, "I don't want trouble. I don't want trouble." We get our main event. MJF and Sammy Guevara taking on Darby Allin and Jungle Boy. You know how this match is going. They got to have that four-way, dog. Allin attacks himself in, hits a coffin drop for the pin on Sammy Guevara.
Oh.
And that was the end of Dynamite. Post-match, MJF's pissed off, going up the ramp, but it is what it is.
I bet it is. You got to defend that back. They had to defend that belt in the Fatal 4-Way. Don't matter. He's probably going to retain it anyway.
Next up, SmackDown in Puerto Rico.
Oh, right. Yes.
And we're making good time. We got 2 shows to go with about 22 minutes left in the show.
As I pull this up, oh, that's the wrong storyline. That's something on Mandy Rose. Yeah, not story-wise. Some pictures of Mandy Rose. Anyway, we are in. This is the Go Home Show to Backlash. We are in Puerto Rico.
This crowd was super hot.
Yes, they were. First of all, we get a camera shot from the outside, through the doors into the arena. Like it was done by a drone. It was cool and the place was packed.
Yeah, it's cool because they had that drone shot thing that's at the beginning of SmackDown, so it kind of followed that same thing. So I thought it was interesting. And it was super packed.
LWO is here. Thing about Puerto Rico too is that they don't have like the big ass jumbo video jumbo screen thing, so it gives it more like a live house show feel, kind of in a way, which is actually good for a good change of pace, Rey Mysterio addressed the crowd in Spanish.
I thought that was dope too. For most of the beginning of the show, they were just talking in Spanish.
He hyped up Bad Bunny. He hyped up Selena Vega, who goes to speak, but then she a little overwhelmed. Like, what's her name? She's like soaking it all in. Then Judgment Day interrupt. Man, the fans was on Dominic. I don't care what nobody say about Dominic, bro. He's playing this heel character so much. When the fact that the fans won't let you get a word out at all. He can't even talk. He gotta say one word, you just hear boos. They start arguing in Spanish, him and Ray. Then Ray switches to English and challenges him to a WrestleMania rematch, but Rhea Ripley is standing between them. She said, "I'll fight you." And then Selena Vega gets like, "No, but I'll fight you." So it's like a mixed tag match. Dominic gets a cheap shot on Ray before they leave.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I love in the cackles of my heart a good run up and steal on you moment.
Yeah.
That was a good run up and steal on you moment because it's such a sucker move. But for some reason, it's fucking funny. There's one of my favorites I'll say real quick before we continue. That's from The King of the Hill. So there's this episode where Bobby was helping out Hank's boss, and he became his assistant. So like he would like gamble and shit, like on golf. He would go like get him drinks and shit like that, or go get him change for his money. So he was gambling one time in like a poker hall, but he was losing his motherfucking ass off. And he kept getting Bobby like, he's like, all right, Bobby, well, he had him hold like some money. He had him hold his watch and some other shit before he went in there. And every time Bobby would go back in, he would ask for one of the things because he kept fucking losing and shit. He ended up losing so bad. Bobby got scared and called Hank to come pick him up and shit. So he came and picked him up in the pickup truck, but Hank wouldn't let him in the truck. He was like, nah.
He wouldn't let Bobby in the truck?
No, he let Bobby in the truck. He wouldn't let his boss in the truck.
Oh.
So he made his boss ride in the back like a dog in the back of the pickup truck. And they was driving away, and he had the whole poker bar was chasing them, good 25 people deep, running. Hank's driving away. All of a sudden, he slows down just a little bit, just enough for one guy to run up like, and he steals on his boss, and then he peels off. I was crying, bro. It was the funniest shit. I was like, serves you right. That's what you fucking get.
He's like, oh, okay, hold on, let me slow it down.
Like he saw it coming and slowed it down. Poop. I was dying.
Oh, God.
That shit was funny as shit, man.
Oh, man.
Love that. I love King of the Hill. That was funny as fuck.
Classic show.
Anyway, so back to SmackDown. My
Man,
bad.
you good. Needed that laugh. Viking Raiders versus the Good Brothers is next. AJ Styles on commentary here. After they get knocked out to the floor, we get a Michan and Valhalla stare down. After Michan take Valhalla down, Gallo takes out Ivar. Eric gets knocked down on the outside. Magic Killer on Ivar, 8 minutes. There will be a tournament for the inaugural World Heavyweight title, a pair of triple threats on each show, then the winners will face off against each other. Then you get a look at the recent European tour. Bianca Belair is here. She says she had to be in Puerto Rico. She says she focused on EO Scott. I keep calling her EO.
Potato at this point.
Yeah, you know, right? Focus on... I'm calling her EO. On EO Sky. Belair says she faced the best of the best. She'll do it again. This victory will make her the longest reigning women's champion in the modern era. Damage control interrupt. Bayley says how Scott gonna end her title reign. Belair says she don't need a ticket out the ring. Belair gets jumped. Out comes Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan to make the save. Karrion Kross is ready to take on Shinsuke Nakamura. Jimmy and Jay is backstage. Solo ignores them. They are pissed off about it. Solo heard him. He said, I'll do my part tomorrow. You better do yours. And then he looks at his thumb, the tape thumb, basically saying like, y'all don't do what y'all supposed to do.
I'm going to take you out.
Street Profits versus Imperium. Guess how long this match was?
2 minutes, 41 seconds.
Yeah.
I know. I got notes too.
No, you cheated, huh?
On that one. Profits pulled out the dub.
It packed out a lot in the short match here. Long ass recap video about Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. Cody again.
What you want to talk
That's
about?
what I want to talk about. So be said it in Spanish this time. I love it. He talked about his confidence. He said how his old AA coach talked about how the goals to claim the kingdom, and Brock's guarding the door to the kingdom. Therefore, he calls him a gatekeeper. Gatekeeper. Shinsuke Nakamura tell Karrion Kross to come on. Real talk about being the bloodline. And then it's funny because as he talking, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens just staring at him like this, like Real's like, I'm talking too much, ain't I? Saying like, there's nothing left to talk about. Just be ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow. Karrion Kross versus Shinsuke Nakamura. 2 Kinshasas. Shinsuke Nakamura gets the win at 8:48.
No, I was surprised by that. I thought they would have made him lay down for him. So I was glad that he got that dub going over the Raw.
Now, Adam Pearce welcomes your boy to the moon. Backstage, when Baron Corbin interrupts, Corbin said, ha, he was the last pick. Grimes like, you wasn't picked at all, though. Let's match for them next week. Backlash rundown. They showed a press conference between Bad Bunny and Damian Priest when they got into it. Next, we get our tag match. Selena Vega, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio.
Our
and
main
Rhea Ripley.
event.
Finn Balor is here. You ain't say
White Pac.
Yeah, Dad, there it is. Good match. Dominic chops with 3 Amigos. Rey reverses to the small package for the win at 9 minutes.
You know what's fucked up? You know what thought just went through my head as I said it too?
What?
Is him like doing karaoke of I can't deny it. I'm a fucking rider. In like his Irish
Oh
accent.
my god.
Then he starts doing a crip walk.
Oh my god. Stop. Why you do this shit
White
for
pot,
troll.
man.
You do this shit to troll. Troll now.
You know that would be fucking funny.
Post match is a beatdown. Damian Priest in, but Bad Bunny in the old WWF logo jacket with a kendo stick and LWO comes out. Priest runs off. They clean ring. Bunny puts on the LWO shirt to end the show. And that is the end of SmackDown.
All right. Well, let's end the show out. About 14 minutes to go. Yeah. AEW Rampage. I won't take 14 minutes to talk about this.
What?
It won't take 14 minutes to talk about
Oh,
this.
yeah.
This Rampage was better than last week's Rampage. It starts off with a pretty good match. Your boy Court. Bailey's
And don't start off good with him in anything. Anything.
Your boy Court, Bailey's ex, and Powerhouse Hobbs versus El Hijo del Vikingo and the
Look,
Lucha
by
Brothers.
saying Bailey's ex was to make me like him a little bit more.
Nah, I just wanted to kind of degrade their whole group outside of Powerhouse Hobbs, so that's the first name that came to my head. For
Understand.
El
Sorry, you're Bailey's ex. See, that's the see. You got Bailey's ex. Hey, see, at least you call Bailey's ex. At least I call Cedric Alexander Mr. Big Swole.
He's still married to her.
Yeah, I know.
That's his claim to fame, is being her ex and being a jobber in AEW right now.
Oh.
Just being real.
Hey.
So this match is a great match. Any match that has the Lucha Brothers teaming with Viking El Hijo, or them in the same match, period, is raw as fuck.
Yeah.
So let me say that to begin with. Pretty good match with 12 minutes, 24 seconds. Solo gets caught in the ring, catches the Fear Factor spike for the victory. Next up, you get a clip of Dynamite MJF losing it backstage after Double or Nothing. He just starts beating up random people and throwing them in and shit and tossing shit around because he's pissed off he has to defend his title on the four-way. Chris Jericho, Lexi knocks on his door and he's worried about Adam Cole attacking him, so he asks like, "Is he here? Is he around?" So he doesn't want to do commentary tonight because he's afraid he's going to get attacked again. He's working on various assurances to keep himself safe, and you'll hear more about that on Dynamite next week. Next match, 33 seconds. Jay Cargill squashes Gia Scott. Mark Briscoe. Jobber. Mark Briscoe doesn't get to talk. As Jeff Jarrett and company do. They take over the spot. Now, we did 2 slap nights this week. I'm not gonna do a third because he technically wasn't on this episode. He was just talking to him prior to his match. It wasn't a Jerry. It wasn't
It
a
ain't
Jeff
a Jerry
Jarrett
moment.
match.
Yeah.
It wasn't a segment of him or his match. It was really about Briscoe. So
Okay.
we'll save the next one for next week.
We don't shine on other people's moments. Sorry, Jeff.
You tried to though. We ain't gonna let you go and shuffle that shit out of here. The team wanted Briscoe to get FTR to give him a tag team title shot. Jay Luther thinks Briscoe will do the right thing and do that. Or Briscoe takes on Preston Vance next. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I guess his nickname is the dog in Spanish. I just can't remember how to pronounce that. So anyway, I don't know Spanish, like I said.
Oh, I'm solo lingual, so. The best in the
Jay
league.
Driller finishes off Vance, who was being an asshole the whole match. Like Mark Briscoe's kids were sitting ringside along with his parents. He was stealing the kids' signs and tearing them up. Then after the match, he won. Everybody came in the ring and celebrated with him, which is dope because this Dynamite happened to be in Baltimore. They're from Delaware, close. Brother just died recently.
Nice.
Good moment. Next up, once again, Anna Jay versus Julia Hart. I'm gonna get you, you spooky bitch. Video on Daniel Garcia versus Orange Cassidy. Next up is your main event, and this is our last moment for the week. And I'm glad we ended on this moment. So we get the firm deletion match. Now, I've seen every deletion match. I think I have. I don't remember the first as well. The ones that were in Impact. I've seen them after the fact. I didn't see them like when they were live, like I watched Impact at the time. Then you had the one with him and him and Bray Wyatt in the WWE, which is a pretty decent one. And then we had the one with Sammy Guevara, which I thought was pretty good too. This is the worst of all of them. But I say that with the caveat of saying it wasn't bad. It's just the other ones were so much more over the top and funny. This one was over the top, not as funny as those were, but it was okay. It was good. I'm not gonna hate on it. Giving my opinion, you obviously know who won here. It's on his own fucking compound. I doubt he would lose. He's undefeated in these matches.
There was some moments in that match that just wasn't name. Dort being the fuck stepping out of what's the name.
His kids beating the
Right.
shit. His kids beating the shit out of
The whole family was.
out of Stokely Hathaway and
The whole
shit. That
family
was funny.
Like, no, go inside.
Lee Moriarty, Tiger Style, by the way. I forgot the name of Lee Moriarty. So they ended up winning this one, and ended with a swanton, and then at the end of the match, they're like, "Are you all right, brother?" And Jeff stumbles outside, and he lights his big ass bonfire around him, which is another one of his weird ass logos of a cross. Here's my guess. You ready? I think he's retiring. If you look at his last promo and how he said it, he wants to go out on an extreme high. As I said, it was a bad choice of words, but if you heard him say it, you didn't really take it that way. I heard him in the way he said it. He basically said it like, this is basically going to be his last match. And then the symbolism of it, with him standing in the middle of that symbol, which is some symbol that he probably created, and setting it on fire, and they all come like, "Yeah, we got your back, brother." And he's like, "Thank you, God!" Like, to me, I took that as him retiring. That's the same as, like, somebody leaving their gloves in the ring in UFC. You know what I'm saying? Or you leave your boots in pro wrestling. That was basically his version of that. Because I felt like they probably told him, like, "Look, we tried this. You said you was cool. And then literally 2 weeks into it, you got in trouble again. So we're going to allow you, and based on the grace of your brother, we're going to allow you to come in and, go out the right way. But, like, we're not about to, like, keep you around and keep on TV. And then this is a possible liability to happen again for us." I feel like it's probably what they told him. And so they let him write how he wanted to go out. If they have another match on the Indies or something like that, fine. I'm not expecting him to have another match in AEW, though, is my guess. So I'm guessing he's retired. Not the Hardys are retired. My guess is Jeff is. Maybe he'll do some indie shows or something like that. But as far as, I think, on national TV, I think that's pretty much done. I have a feeling. That's how I took it. Does that make sense to you, or what do you think of it? I haven't heard any words about him actually retiring or anything. I'm just taking a wild guess.
Jeff Hardy himself said the smartest thing for him to do is to retire. So it probably is final match. So, and then another thing he said that the future is waiting for us to prevail and everything. So maybe it is probably a go away match. It seemed like from everything that was said, it seemed like that, like he is going that way. He said a smart thing for him to retire from screwing up. So I think he just don't trust himself enough to where he think he probably going to screw up again, probably. So, yeah, huh?
Got another one. So we'll end the show with this because I almost forgot it, and I'm glad I remember right now. So, yeah, we got a JR moment. We don't have a fuck Tony Schiavone thing.
She walked around like, "I'm that bitch." She walks around with like, "I'm that bitch. I'm the bitch. I'm a bitch."
Yeah, he's had some classics, so we gotta remember that. So on Rampage, he was during the court martial match, and Aaron Solo and QT Hobbs versus Lucha Brothers and Del Viking El Hijo. They're discussing Hobbs and how he lost the TNT Championship, and Excalibur says, "I wonder if you could blame QTV or Court Martial and his associates for the loss." And Jim's like, "You should blame Wardlow for kicking his ass."
Hell yeah! You blame Wardlow for kicking his ass. I like that.
I thought it was classic, so I had to write that one down.
You should blame Wardlow for kicking his ass.
I had to write that one down. So, with that being said, that was the show for the last 2 weeks, honestly. So we'll be back next week with another recapping Backlash. We did not do predictions for it just because we're kind of in a rush this week. And technically, where we're at in timeline, it already fucking happened. So doing predictions for it, we're kind of...
I'm going to be honest with you. When I was to look through the matches, we probably would have picked the same for all of them.
So it wouldn't have made a difference.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
But we got Double or Nothing coming up in like 2 weeks. So we'll do the predictions for that. So...
Gotta redeem himself.
Yep.
No, I swept the last one. You know, I got every match right. You know, that's rare.
Whatever, nigga.
It's okay.
Anyway.
Don't be like that.
Whatever with Floater.
hey, that's your show. I'm just saying.
I got you.
You know, I went perfect. That's a rare.
With that being said, Ron, take us home. I'm one half of your host, Rob.
I'm Clint.
And this has been Hottag Wrestle Corner.
Queen shit, blue chip shit, Noty with the ring, yo.